So my friend got me this holy basil along with this caladium plant. I love caladiums. I think the leaves are so pretty. And then I got some of these at the 99-cent store. These little mini foam mushrooms. And some more mini foam mushrooms. So I'm gonna stick these in various pots throughout the garden. Probably not today though. And then my sister gave me this, which is a heart, but embedded in this paper are a bunch of little seeds. And the seeds are, it says this paper is made by hand in Seattle from 100% tree-free recycled fibers. It contains our North American annual and perennial wildflower seed blend. Snapdragons, petunias, daisies, poppies, chamomile, maiden pinks, catchfly, thyme, and beard tongue. So you just plant the whole paper, you put it in the dirt, and the seeds sprout. I'm gonna do it. I just don't know where I want to plant it. So for now, I'm keeping it here. But what I did plant in here were more cucamelon seeds in there. And my sister sent me a loofah seed. So I planted the loofah in here. So hopefully we get germination from this. So something very exciting has happened. The first signs of the atomic grape tomato are here. Isn't that something? You can see the purple color in it. I've never grown this tomato. I can't wait to taste it. That's exciting. This one's got a shit ton of tomatoes on it. It's got bunches all the way up here, here, there. There. Everywhere. As we get down here, look at that. Look at that. It'll be great if they all ripen at the same time. And then here in the middle, look at that cluster. Isn't that something? Another cluster over there. Another small cluster here. That's the first cluster that grew on the plant. Was those. Got a bunch more there. Well, let's check on the cucumber that was being eaten the last time. Alright, it seems like the pill bug stopped attacking and that's what's left. One cucumber plant. They finished off the other one. And the tomatoes over here, they didn't attack. And I think it's because of the scent of the tomato. Tomatoes have a scent to their leaves. And I am going to assume that the pill bugs don't like the scent, which is why that tomato didn't get eaten. So I had to start tying up the spaghetti squash. And this piece, I'm gonna just let it keep going until it gets tall enough to reach here. And then, then I'll dangle it from here. So I put the wind chimes there, that way at night I don't walk into this and end up stumbling into the raised bed, because that is something I would definitely do. Oh boy. I couldn't have imagined this raised bed looking better than it does. It looks so good. Eventually I'm gonna pull out the clovers. If I end up needing an extra space for something, which I just might, I'll pull out the clovers and plant something in there. Yeah. So everything's getting big. This cucumber, I trained it to go in through here and then back in, and now it can just continue going up there. I tied those up. This one I'm gonna let dangle until it gets a little bit bigger. Oh no, a fly is in here upside down. Kiki. There you go. Save yourself, little buddy. Alright, oh look at this sweet banana pepper. Getting long. This is probably ready to be picked. I'm gonna give it a little more time. Oh, and over here. So I ended up taking out the peppers that I had in here because they were just not gonna be doing much of anything. And I planted some of the purple heart plants in there so that they could sprawl out. And I planted this caladium that my buddy got me. I just left it in the pot and the roots can find their way into the dirt. Oh my God, the ants. Look what they've done. I need to get water. Motherfuck, man. Ah! So, as you can see, the ants just chewed their way right there, man. They're gonna ruin my crops. So what happens now? Now I'm gonna have to protect these guys with fabric. I'm gonna have to wrap them in fabric so that they can grow in there and the ants don't get to them. Here are the little fingers. There's one there. There's another one here. I'm gonna try to rest them on the branches for now because I don't know. So I cut some more lemon balm and oregano that was flowering. So I emptied the pool again for the second time. I only leave the water in there for like 2 days and then I empty it because after that it starts getting dirty. So it's gonna be raining, so I'm gonna leave it just like that. Then I'm gonna fill it back up with more air, and then I'm gonna clean it with a little bit of soap and a tiny bit of bleach. Clean out the inside really well, rinse it, and then I'll fill it back up when I'm ready. So I'm not gonna clean it until I'm ready to get in it again. All right, what do we have here? This guy is getting pretty large, and it's starting to like, that's a milkweed, starting to lean. I had to tie this guy up here. This one's flowering, the peas. My sugar snap peas have its first pea. One there, one here. And my wando peas over here have a lot. So if I'm not mistaken, this was the very first pea that came out. And I'm going to be harvesting it for Boo Boo when it gets a little plumper. But there's a bunch of peas on this plant right now. And these are shelling peas, so you want them to be nice and plump before you pick them. Not too plump because you don't want the seeds to get hard inside the shell, the pod. But there's a bunch. It's gotten taller than the stick already. And then my tomatillos, I went on YouTube and found out how to tell when they're ready to harvest, and now I'm going to share with you the information. So this was the very first tomatillo that grew on the plant, and watch what happens when I squeeze it. See how it's like there's still space in there, it's squishy still. Well, you know that it's time to harvest when it is filled up to the point where when you squeeze it, it's not squishy and the skin starts to crack, exposing the tomatillo inside. Inside, it's green. And I'm beginning to wonder if I have two different varieties, because look at these little lanterns, right? How they're just solid green. All of them on the plant. This is one of my favorite looking ones right here. They're all green, right? But then if you look at this plant, they're green, but they have like these purple veins. See? Do you see that? So I'm wondering if this is a different variety of tomatillo than this one. Wouldn't that be interesting? So I'm not sure what's going on with this guy, but it's just growing and literally no lanterns anywhere to be seen. This guy stood tiny and nothing yet. So we will see what happens with that. But anyway, back to this. So you squeeze them and there's lots of room, which means the fruit is not done growing. Now this one will probably be ready soon, but I could see that there's, oh my God, oh, you weren't even looking. I could see that there's still lots of space in here. So when they start, you know, swelling up in here and the paper lantern part starts to rip and you could see the fruit exposed, then you know it's time to pick them. And I cannot wait to pick this. I've been reading like what can you make with this, and apparently you can make something called salsa verde, which means green sauce. And so I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. But I find this so magical looking, these lanterns. I'm glad that I grabbed one of these plants. Oh look, let's see what's going on here. Motherfuckers. Look at that. Something got into my pepper. I don't know if it's the ants that did that, or if it was that snail. There was like a slug on this the other day and I took it off, but you know, if this is gonna be happening to my crops, I'm gonna have a really big fucking problem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that right there. These pill bugs, man, I swear on my eyes. I'm gonna leave it right there and let them feast on that instead of my plant. Carajo. Oh my God. You know what? Let me go harvest that damn banana pepper before they get to it. because that would be a tragedy. All right, you come with me. My first pepper of the season. So before I go, there's another sweet banana pepper here, and I'm seeing the first true leaves on these seedlings, and I have reason to believe that these are kuka melons, and that just cheered me up. So if these are kuka melons, what happens next is I'm gonna have to buy 2 more bags of dirt and fill up this bin that I have in the basement, and I'll grow my kuka melons in there specifically and get a couple of more bamboo sticks. Oh my God, I'm almost 100% certain that these are kuka melons, and the reason why is because of how small that leaf is. It looks just like a cucumber leaf but tiny, and I planted some more kuka melon seeds in here just in case, because I thought none came up. I planted a loofah seed in there as well. And then I have these seeds here that came up, and I have no idea what this is. So I'm gonna leave them there to see if I can identify them later on. Let me go get some water because I just plucked out the tomato that was in here and planted it over there. So I'm gonna get water to water it, and then I'm out of here.